I've made the mistake before of getting too deep into a conversation that we've gotten to the end and haven't recorded.
Oh,
Because we
oh,
love a good
oh,
tangent.
speaking of which, is it the Australian actor David Field? Is it David
hmm
Field?
Yep.
Who I saw on Instagram yesterday doing the
Yep.
most fantastic chat about the Australian film industry.
Yep. I saw that and about how many films we produce a year, and yeah. Yep.
Yeah, what it just the clarity of the how he explained it, and I'm like ditto, 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 New Zealand.
Yeah. Because I mean, he's been
It's me.
around to see it go through all the different ages and generations of, the
I'm
glory years and yeah.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. I mean, we actually haven't in New Zealand. I don't think we've even got to that place that you guys got to 20 years ago when the Blanchetts and the Russell Crowes and Heath Ledger and Joel Edgerton, all those guys were being given opportunity in
Yeah. Yeah.
local films, which then launched them. And New Zealand hasn't. We haven't even got that far yet. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
hopefully one day.
We did an episode a while
Hopefully.
back on New Zealand cinema. Who was it we had? Who did we interview? Was it
Maybe
Jeff
James
Murphy's son?
Ashcroft
Jeff Murphy's
or
son.
Jeff Murphy.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
yeah. Oh,
it's but like you've got the New Zealand Film Commission, which is great for first time
Yeah.
filmmakers. It really supportive and it does do a lot of kind of inventive stuff. It just apparently, from what I've heard from New Zealand producers, it sucks for your second film and your third film. Like
Mm.
it really helps you with the first, and then kind of you leaves you to your own devices for the second and third. So once you've actually developed the skills to but that's not I mean that can't be true because yeah we did a film called Low Down Dirty Criminals that Jeff Murphy that Paul Murphy directed and starred
Mm.
Rebecca Gibney
in New Zealand. Yeah.
what's his name, James, I can't remember his name now, but
Mm.
the kid from Boy,
Oh yes.
Oh,
um
James Napier Robinson.
yes, I think
James Napier Robinson?
uh
Mm.
That's all right. This is
Oh
this is
God,
this is what
it
Ben
was
does.
yeah.
He throws out a name, can't remember, then goes
yeah
to the computer.
but we
Are
did
you
that and that's certainly not and
are
that
you
was that
menopausal, Ben? Are you menopausal?
Perimenopausal.
early onset Alzheimer's, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The
Dementia.
two could
Yeah.
be really confused. I think it's yeah. I mean, it's interesting because there have been a few films recently. Like I feel like I mean everything goes in waves, right? And so much of it depends on the people who are, who the gatekeepers are. And it feels to me like over the last few years, the gatekeepers at the Film Commission have
James
been
James Rolliston.
James Rolliston, of course, James Rolliston, who was also in The Dark Horse, I think.
Yes.
And yeah,
And
yeah, he's a beautiful actor. Yeah,
Warlands. Was it Warlands?
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Was
Um,
it? Yeah.
who did Low Down Dirty Criminals? I'm trying to think who.
Paul
Uh,
Murphy directed it,
Paul
and
Murphy directed it.
Yeah, his
his
dad was
sister
Jeff
produced
Murphy, who
it.
did Pork Pie or
That's
whatever it's
right.
called. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Legend, total
yeah,
legend. I
completely.
mean, that's the thing too. Like New Zealand is built on that kind of wonderful tradition that I'm sure Australia is as well. Where I remember Ian Mune telling me once it was just brilliant when they were, uh, maybe was it Sleeping Dogs? It was one of the early films that Mune was involved in, and he said he just, and he was talking to a young filmmaker, and he was just going, just pick up your iPhone, go outside and make a film.
Yeah.
If we had had iPhones back then, that's what we would do. And and I said, how did you get your money? And he said, oh, and I think it was him and Jeff Murphy, or maybe the other. I'm going to do that. I'm going to forget the other name. There's another famous filmmaker from back then, and he said we were just a couple of jokers, and we went into a bank and we said, can we borrow some money? And they said, why? And they said, we want to make a film.
Weren't they
And
part
I
of
said,
like,
did you have to?
yeah, yeah, go on, sorry.
And
Wow.
they were sort of part of that Bruno Lawrence blurter
Yes, that's what I was
world,
about to say.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and they didn't really have to do much more than that. They went, and the bank said, will we get our money back?" And they went, hopefully. And but that's what they did, and they
Yeah.
just, and it's the same. What I love about it is it's the same brilliance of ignorance that Orson Welles talks about. Like when he talked about making Citizen Kane, he said the reason he managed to do it because he didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't know that you weren't allowed to
He did
do whatever.
he didn't
Yeah,
know that you weren't allowed to do whatever. He didn't know that he couldn't do it. He just went, well, I want that shot. And he had a really great DOP, and the DOP went, well, I'm trying to do that. You know, and film in its beginnings was based on that. And now there's so many ifs and buts and
Yeah.
no's and what ifs and all this sort of prophylactic bullshit that sits around before you even start the creative process. And I don't know, if I was starting out in film now, I'd be going, how can I just fuck all that right off?
Yeah.
you know and probably the way to do it is to try and make films really cheaply again.
Have you
yeah.
found now that you're over there that like Peter's stories coming up in the industry of the similar kind of stories? Because he's come up through the indie stuff as well.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
hell
do you
yeah.
find that it's the same kind of story? Like what he came up with is similar to what you went through?
um I think, yeah, I think so. I mean, I get the sense that, well, Scottish culture and probably Scottish film is built on a very healthy combative relationship with England.
Mm.
It's like they've got anarchy in their souls,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
which is such a great driver for any creative pursuit. Um, I mean, him in particular, I think he just was like, it was the same thing. It was just like, oh, well, I want to do this, so how can I do it? I'll
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
and I have to.
Hmm.
I think probably I mean, I sort of don't want to be provincial about it, but I do think over here you're just sitting in a history,
Mm.
you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
like the great international filmmakers of Europe are just over there.
Hmm.
You can go and hear them talk pretty easily.
Yeah.
You can like just that proximity
Hmm.
and the sort of the history of the creatives here. I just don't just embedding yourself in the richness of the history of that, I think is helpful,
Yep.
you know, and I think particularly in New Zealand we've always struggled with that. Like we spent such a long time trying to be like everybody in the northern hemisphere
Hmm.
Yeah.
and not being quite as good and not having the confidence to find our own voices for a lot longer and to really start from scratch, and so that sense of indigenous storytelling, which I think the Scots have had for such a long time,
Yep.
really really helps, and we're only now getting to grips with that.
Hmm. Yeah.
So but in Peter's case, I mean, he was writing from the age of 14, just writing and writing and writing and writing and writing and not getting stuff made and falling on its face. And, like, I mean, and I think when you listen to the stories of any what I consider to be great filmmakers and great people in this industry, they don't come at it from just one angle.
Hmm.
They don't just go through film school, they'll go and do some work in the theatre,
Yeah.
or they'll they'll write some poetry, or they'll go and curate an art gallery, like they'll come at it from lots of different places,
Yeah.
you know and and I think that's the sort of angle Peter's taken. It's like I'm gonna teach in a prison for a bit, and then I'm gonna teach youth theatre, and then I'm gonna go to university and do some history, and then I'm gonna go and do that, and so by the time you get into your mid-20s, you've got quite a rich kind of
Yeah.
ball of wool to play with.
Yeah. Sounds like too, he comes to it, he's already got battle scars as well. He's sort of got the experience from all different,
Yeah,
angles. Yeah.
yeah,
Do you
yeah,
know what?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm just gonna keep rolling right through this. We won't even bother doing like the official introduction because that's part of the show that we're here for. And let's just
Yeah,
kick into it, Robyn. It's wonderful to
yeah.
have you. chatting. I know you're busy, so we do appreciate your time.
No, it's sweet as. It's sweet as.
And the conversation we've just been having is so interesting. I think, people would, like to listen to that anyhow. But I wanted to kick things off by just buttering you up a little bit because I think that your show After the Party is one of the greatest examples of television I've seen in years. Ben will vouch for that because I've
Oh,
been talking
thank
about
you.
it on the show many times. I absolutely love that show. My wife and I were just glued to the TV.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Do you know what? More than anything, hearing that stuff from Aussies, I don't know why that means more than anywhere else.
Is that the New
Maybe
Zealand
it's
complex?
We don't, well,
well,
we don't
maybe
get
it's
that much
just
stuff. We don't, we got
no.
Shortland Street. We used to play on SBS, and
Yeah.
Well, hang
Outrageous
on, hang
Fortune
on.
play on late night TV, and
You
that's
were on
about it.
Shortland Street too, weren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yes, I
that's like
was.
being on Neighbours or Home and Away here.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's a rite of passage for
that's
every
right.
actor. You got
It
to
is.
be on it.
Yeah, you do. I mean, I think it's just because Aussies and New Zealanders, we just have a healthy instinct to rip the shit out of each other. So
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
when we get past that, to be able to go, no, no, shit, that was really good. You're like, oh, okay, yeah,
But
oh
you,
yeah, okay, that did hit home, you
but
know.
you've also rocked up in some fantastic Aussie stuff. Survivors was great. I love Mystery Road. I'm glued to it all. I just love your work. So just yeah,
Oh, thank you.
get you in the right mood before we kick on.
Get me in the right mood. Yep, yep. Okay, good mood. I'll just have another slurp of kombucha.
Excellent. Look, it took its time, but Pike River's finally found its way across the ditch, and it's a beauty. Like,
Mm.
how did you come to be involved with this one? Was it were you in mind with the directors, or did you have to sort of fight for this one?
No, no, no. In fact, an Aussie actress was lined up to be one of the women,
Right.
and then I think as a sort of a rollover from COVID, um, her work backed up, and so she wasn't available anymore. And I'd I'd heard on the grapevine that this was floating, and I was like, they can't cast Australians. It doesn't matter how brilliant they are. They can't cast an Australian in this role. They just can't. So I got a bit. So I started making calls to my agents and stuff, and they went, "No, no, no. You're on the list. You're on the list." So I felt deeply attached to the story because um, I'm a South Islander, middle of the South Island, not far from that world. I know that
Mm-hmm.
world really well. Um, I'd met Sonia and Anna, although they don't remember me, but I remember them. I met them at Helen Kelly's funeral.
Right.
So Helen Kelly, who was the head of the Council of Trade Unions and was extraordinary for us during the Hobbit dispute, which I
Mm-hmm.
don't know whether you know much about that. So I developed this really close relationship with Helen before she died, and I remember her talking a lot about Sonia and Anna towards the end of her life and what was going on for them. So I just had this real connection to them and the story. And fortunately, it all just then happened, It was
Yeah.
great. The whole thing was serendipitous,
Kind of puts a bit of
and
pressure on you though, doesn't it? Like being like that, the story so well, and you know the importance of it. Like, did you feel the pressure?
And the
yeah,
people.
and the people. Well, it's
Yeah.
interesting. Mel and I talked a lot about that because, and it's the third time now that I've played somebody who is still alive,
Mm-hmm.
and but it's an interesting process because you have to. I found I was putting aside completely that whole actory thing of am I doing really good acting? Am I, and it just becomes am I doing her justice?
Yeah.
Which is a very different way to approach a role. And actually, again, if I was a drama school teacher, I'd be saying, I think that's probably the only way to approach a character
Mm.
is that you get your own ego as the actor right out of the road, because all you're trying to do is do this person, whether they're fictional or non-fictional, all you're trying to do is do them justice.
Mm.
And in particular, having Sonia and Anna on set, they were on set all day, every day, pretty much with us. And there were a couple of times I remember Mel asked them, they were right in our eye line for a particular scene. For no, I mean they had no idea. And Mel sort of said to them, could you just move? Because I can't play you and look at you at the same time, you know.
Yeah.
But we got so close to them, and they're so humble and brilliant and hilarious that it was kind of this weird four-person collaboration.
Mm.
And they were very funny. You know, get to the end of a take and you'd hear one of them going, "That was shit." You'd be like, "Oh," and then we'd be like, "Fuck you, I'm the actor, go away," you know.
Yeah.
And so it was very, in that way, it was really healthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but we relied on them too, I think.
Are you able to take any kind of creative liberties with the performance when they are right there and you are so sort of close with
Yeah.
them? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think you have to,
Yeah.
and I think that was the thing, that they were actually really brilliant about that, because they talked about that later. They were like, "Oh, you did a thing and it didn't quite happen that way, but actually, um, on film, it's really good.
Hmm.
It helped the story. But more importantly, I think, was as long as we got the spirit of
Yes.
them, as long
Yeah.
as we got the sense of them, which we did because we hung out with them so much,
Yeah.
and they've just got such grubby senses of humor, both of them. They wind each other up nonstop. They just kick each other in the balls all the time. But it's a love story between the two of them. They're so infectious to hang out with,
Yeah.
you know.
I guess that kind of answers my next question because I was going to ask you, as a performer, it's a horrible state of mind to be in for a prolonged amount of time. And were you able to switch off at the end of the day, or did you carry the burden of the weight of the story?
Yeah, I mean, what is so wonderful was that they helped us switch off,
Yeah. Yeah.
because we're living in their backstory, which they've been through. And so they don't need to live back in that. So we could shoot a scene like uh the there's this big scene where it's sort of a montage of all the miners coming out, and it was part of that, where we all go up to the mine and we have this memorial service and we all go and stand and call their names, and it's really super moving. And there was actually a number of the real Pike River families were there and were part of it, so it was a hugely, hugely emotional day,
Mm.
and they were there, and it was massive for them. And we call cut and everybody has a bit of a cry and then someone cracks a joke, so it was them that would often get us out of the preciousness of
Hmm.
filmmaking, and um which was glorious, because it meant that we were always in it together. But also, that's the West Coast sense of humor, and
Hmm.
the New Zealand sense of humor is that it doesn't matter how dark it gets, there's always comedy quite close,
Yep.
you know.
It's a good coping
And
mechanism too.
yeah, absolutely. And because we were filming in the place, we were in Greymouth for 3 weeks. So you walked out your front door and you were already within the community who had lost all those men. So it was almost like, because we were living it, we didn't have to conjure it up. It was just kind of there.
Yep. Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
Mm.
It was awesome to see Melanie back in New Zealand as well. Did you two know
Yeah.
each other before this?
No, 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 no,
I
no.
asked that
In
like there's
fact,
only 10 people in New Zealand. Like,
I know. Well, there is, and we've slept with half of them, and the other half we're related to. So,
Well,
you know,
I can't
um,
speak for her, but like, was she? Oh, you can't speak for her, but was she like relieved to be using a natural accent again?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. I think so. I think just it's like putting on the most comfortable pair of shoes you ever wore, And but we'd never met. In fact, we'd had this conversation about a year before, um, because she played that amazing role in The Last of Us. She was brilliant in The Last of Us,
Hmm.
and she got so much hate mail
Right.
because she's not classic Hollywood.
Mm.
And her response was really brilliant and courageous and brave. And I messaged her a couple of times just going, A, what wankers, and B, you responded so well. And so we'd had this sort of brief conversation and this kind of love fest over the internet.
Hmm.
And then when we found out that each other had been cast, it just sort of, you know,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
and
very
best
cool.
friends. And then suddenly we got tattoos together at the end of the movie.
Oh, amazing,
And
amazing. Did she have her family with her?
yes, she did. Yeah. So her husband Jason and
Hmm.
their wee girl Kahi were with them the whole time, which was lovely. So because she was there for months,
Yeah, yeah,
and yeah, no, I mean, I'm pretty sure she loved it as much as I did.
yeah. And that was around about the time he was blowing up on TikTok and going viral with his stupid dancing and stuff.
Oh, was he?
Yes, because he was
Oh,
doing
I
Matt. Was
did.
it Matlock he was doing with Kathy Bates? And he has
Oh,
a
maybe.
dance. He has a dance to the theme song for Matlock, and it just went viral. And he started doing all the night shows where he had to do the fucking dance like a monkey.
Oh no, I didn't know that. Hey,
Yeah.
listen, I'm gonna move because
Okay.
I'm in the big living room here and I'm dominating the space. So we're just gonna travel into
All
another
right.
space.
Not a problem.
Stand by, stand by, stand by. Um, this is my the woman I wrote After the Party with, Di Taylor, is over here at the moment, and we're working on a new thing together.
Oh, cool.
But
Well,
she's away walking the West Highland Way,
right.
and um and so um I can use her bedroom.
You can pass on my
Yeah,
compliments that I love that show.
I will. I will. Most definitely. Okay, how's that? Can you still hear me and see me?
Yeah, perfectly.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
And you have a lovely house.
It's not mine. Actually, hold on a minute. Let me see if I can show you this. Um, mm, this is a tribute to the city of Glasgow. A
Oh,
little piece of embroidery. Can you see what
yeah.
it says?
Yeah, yeah, the hoop. Yeah.
Hang
Oh,
on.
the
Hang on.
Can can you read
I
can
think I
you
can.
read
I don't want to say it.
can you read the
uh,
embroidered word?
is it my favorite Scottish word? Is it
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
nice. Hang on, say it in the accent, Ben.
No, I'm not going to do that.
No, I'm not going to try either.
No.
Every pretty much every sentence
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
is
awesome.
peppered with that word.
That is
You're
awesome.
either and you're also a good one or a bad one,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it all depends on that.
Well, I mean that and fuck are the two most versatile words I think in any
Aren't they
language.
though? And two
Yeah.
of the oldest. And
Yeah,
two of
that's
the
right.
oldest.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my goodness.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So no, that's all
We.
good. I was really taken aback and didn't expect to see Jacinta Ardern pop up in the movie. That's got to be one of the more surreal experiences of your career.
Well, I know Jacinda, so it was
It was
less
your doing.
surreal and it was my doing. No, no, no. Actually, it was Sonia and Anna's doing because they know her. They've got her on speed dial and always have. And so I think around about the time when they were going, oh, maybe could we get her and to be her? And she happened to be back in the country at the time. So it was kind of a no-brainer. It was really lovely. And I think most of the time in films, stunts like that don't work. Stunts like that don't work. But because it happened right at the end of the film, I don't think it mattered so much. And
Yeah, I
and
thought.
you could hear it
Mm,
when we sort of traveled around New Zealand and with the premieres of the film, and we went to lots and lots of centres, and just the big cheer every time she came up on screen because she's such a hero.
Yeah, yeah.
in New Zealand, and so it worked. It worked.
Mm. I suppose shooting it at the end too, you had that luxury of if it didn't work, you just didn't have to use it.
Well, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And there would have been 500 people all putting their hand up, going, "I'd like to play her, please. Can I be her? Can I be her? Can I be her?"
Is it Melanie Bracewell? She'll do it. Is that
Yeah,
her
yeah,
name? Yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly, exactly, exactly.
You know what? Talking about like commitment to your craft, how long did you have to massage that bloke's feet for?
Oh, Muni. Oh, I would have massaged Muni's feet forever. So that's Ian Mune. So he's the one I was telling you about who went into the bank and got the money to
Yeah.
make the film. So he's a legend. He's a legend in New Zealand cinema. And he's played my dad. I did a stage production of Cat on a Hot Tin Roof with him 100 years ago. Hilarious. He played Big Daddy on stage. It's a Tennessee Williams play, and he put two he put two large um, foam balls down the front of his trousers to play Big Daddy. So,
Did he
and then
bring them
I
out when
did.
you massaged him?
No,
Yeah.
we did talk about that. I said, "Has this fella got that?" And he was like, "No." And then, and he was hilarious because when we were shooting Pike, after the party was playing on New Zealand television, and he'd come in every day and he'd go, Robbo, don't make me hate you. Don't make me hate you. I think you might be about to make me hate you, and I don't want to hate you. I don't want to hate you." It was great. Um, and then I did this crazy little comedy called Agent Anna about this sort of hapless real estate agent, and he played my dad in that, and then he played my dad in this. So I know Muni really well.
Amazing. I'm
And
glad you brought up Agent Anna. It's the one thing I haven't seen yet, but I do know that Roy Billing's in it, and he's one of my favorite Aussie actors. Absolutely
Roy
love him.
Roy in the first season, I'm very proud of the first season, and because it's this kind of really under the radar, lo-fi, no one was taking any notice of us and no one cared, so we had full creative control, blah blah blah. And Roy and I do a sex scene at the end of the first season, and Roy does the best cum face you've ever seen on screen.
That I
It's
have to see.
it's so good.
Oh
It's so
my
good.
God. Like, as soon as we wrap this up, I know what I'm doing.
And they got it. So I was on my bed. I think, yeah, he was on top of me, and it was so good that they got the camera here over my face so that they could get right into his face, and he just had to do it. It's actually, it
Holy
is the best.
shit. Oh, gonna have to watch it.
Holy shit! Yeah.
It's one thing we like to do with people we talk to, sort of as we begin to wind up the conversation, is get a bit nostalgic and sort of trip back and ask people what the first film they ever recall seeing in the cinema was. Do you remember what your experience was?
I absolutely do. It was I grew up in Ashburton, which was really pretty small town in the middle of the South Island, and I went with my girlfriend when I was about 14, I think. Sort of seriously, it was our first go at proper film, and we went to see Breaker Morant, and I found a copy of the DVD of it um in a store in Australia, which I gave to my son because he's um writing his own little film at the moment. And I think when the lights came up, my friend was sort of slightly humiliated because I had my head in my hand and I was doing loud, open-mouthed, not filled sobbing. Like, just I was utterly overwhelmed by that film. I couldn't breathe. It was the injustice of it, I
Yeah.
think. And I loved that film. I loved it so much.
We
It had such an
It had
impact on me.
we had
a phenomenal collection of mustaches in that film.
yeah.
Wasn't there? I
Yeah.
know. Who had the best? Was it Brian? Might have had the
Mm.
best one.
Brian or No, I can't think of his name. What's his
Edward
name?
Woodward didn't have. Edward Woodward was clean shaven,
He
wasn't
I think
he?
he was the only one who I think didn't have a mustache, right? Rod Mulliner has a
Y-
pretty phenomenal one, and
Yep.
what's his name?
Jack.
Jack
Uh,
Thompson. Yeah, Jack Thompson. I think had a decent. Or did he not have one?
But
I
we
can't remember. But Bud Tingwell had an amazing one as well.
Oh, but just it had the. I saw Paths of Glory, Kubrick's Paths of
mm.
Glory years later, and it had this sort of similar effect, you know. Um, and I really want to watch Break and Won't again. I'm nervous that I'm not going to have the same response that I did back then. You know how when you watch a film that really does something really important to you as a budding young storyteller, and then you go back to it. It's like I saw Wings of Desire not long ago, and I remember when I saw that
Mhm.
when I was 18, I think 18 or 19, and I walked out of the cinema and went I had to take myself out on a walk around Wellington for about 3 hours just to let that film settle.
Mhm.
And again, massive influence. And and then I watched it again the other day and I went, oh.
Have you ever seen Far Away So Close, the sequel? That was always the preferred one for me.
Actually, no, I haven't. No, I
It's
haven't.
yeah, try that one. That's great.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
it's
right. Okay.
Peter Falk, isn't it? Oh, was he in the first one?
Oh, I love him.
Yeah, it's
Peter.
just you two are in it, which is weird. The band you two,
Yeah,
yeah.
maybe I have seen that.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Can't remember.
Anyhow.
Anyway, it's always agony when you watch something a
Mm,
second time and it didn't do
yeah,
what you remember it doing.
yeah.
It's like meeting an old boyfriend and going, "Oh, you're not very sexy. Why did I
I feel
why did I go
really
out with
bad because
you?"
my main experience with that was with Mallrats, which it just shows how juvenile sense of humor I have because I fell off. I thought I was going to die from laughing in the cinema, and then I watched it on video on DVD or video when it came out, and I was like, these fart jokes aren't anywhere near as funny as I remember them being.
Which is odd because fart jokes are always funny.
Because when's a fart joke not funny?
Yeah.
Yeah,
When is a fat joke not funny? Maybe you just got too serious about life.
I think yeah, it was just yeah,
Yes.
Yeah,
yeah,
maybe you've taken your own farts too seriously for too long. Maybe you should go.
She's on to you, Ben.
yeah.
She's got you
I
Yeah,
clocked.
mean, for a while, I was considering taking that professionally. So yeah, I was going, it is possible.
farting.
Yeah.
It's nothing better. There's nothing better. I was doing ADR for a TV series the other day, and I just spent the whole time going, "Can I just put a fart in here? I just want to put a fart in here. Can I put a fart in here? It'll just make it. Farts always make things better. Always, always,
Well, that
always.
that was the Leslie Nielsen's thing was that he had his fart box that he would take on all his
Interviews.
interviews and stuff, and he'd be like on Letterman and Carson and all that sort of stuff, and every time they'd be talking to me, he'd just squeeze the fart box and just he would not react to it
Yeah,
at
play it
all.
straight. Play it straight. Dead serious conversation.
Perfect. That is perfect. That
Oh
is
my goodness.
perfect. I
Oh,
love it.
how did this conversation come to that, Ben? That kind of
Sorry,
always does, I
I,
guess.
I apologize.
Yeah.
It's the
Well, this
motive
is
of
the
our show.
power of the fart.
Yeah,
You just descend. It doesn't matter where you come from. It's like on the internet. People always say that on the comments page on the internet, you can usually count about 6 references before you find the word Nazi. And I think in any interview, as far as I'm concerned, or any interview worth its salt, you get 15 minutes in and you've got to bring farts up. If you
yeah,
don't, there's something wrong.
Yeah, 100%. It is a family tradition here, and
Yeah.
I'm glad that that's where it's come to. But I just want to, I want to, we'll wrap it up. I want to thank you so much for responding to my request because not many people do. It takes a long time
Oh
to.
no, I'm sorry, I was pretty useless about it.
No,
But
no, no,
now I've
no.
I've had this ADHD diagnosis in the last year, so now when I don't respond to things, I just go, "Oh, that's my ADHD." And so I let myself off the hook now. But yeah,
Oh,
no,
but yeah.
sorry, I was a bit slack
No, no,
about
no.
that.
It takes a lot longer to usually wrangle people in, and you were great. You were easy to get.
Oh
So
well done.
yeah,
Good on you
yeah.
for being so persistent.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
thank
Hey,
you.
what in your movie collection, what's your favorite one? Such an
Oh,
awful question to ask people, but I'm fascinated. Do you put your favorites in a particular
Well, they're
on a
mine
particular
are
shelf?
all behind me is all DVD. Over here is all Blu-ray and 4K. Over there's horror. It's all
Right.
it's alphabetical for me. So, but Ben, I
Okay.
think has
Here's
them in labels, don't you?
Yeah, I've got well, no,
Yeah.
I always have this one close by.
Heavenly
what's that
I don't know
one?
if this is in focus. It's a movie called Heavenly Bodies. And it was it stars Cynthia Dale, and it was directed by Lawrence Dane, who was more well known as an actor. It's a Canadian
Mm.
film, and it's basically about two gyms that have an aerobics off, a gym pink slips, and it's who can last longest in an aerobics in an aerobics endurance competition, and it is a phenomenal film that has like a great soundtrack. It's got your favorite band in it, Glenn. They did a song only for the soundtrack.
Sparks.
Sparks, yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Bucks. This town ain't big
Big
enough
enough
for
for the
the
both
two
of
of
us.
us.
They're coming to New Zealand. They're coming to New Zealand.
I know, I saw that. I
Yeah.
saw that. So it sounds like it's kind of what a cross between what Zoolander and they shoot horses, don't they, or something. So,
Yeah, yeah. Look, very, very they shoot horses, don't they? In terms of the competition. And yeah, yeah. It's
yeah, my other question then, I love this question. What's your favorite horror movie? What do you think is this? We were having this chat the other night. What is the scariest horror movie?
oh
Because I
Scariest.
scary.
always thought it was The Exorcist, and then I played The Exorcist to both my sons. Because I can only ever watch The Exorcist on a plane because I feel safe on a plane. And I was like, this film, they watched The Conjuring and all that when I was like, this film is gonna do it's so scary. And they were both like, eh?
There's nothing more dejecting than introducing things to your kids and having them scoff at it because it happened with my two as well. Scariest movie, I don't know, like nothing really scares me anymore, but I guess if I had to nominate something, probably the opening sequence of American Werewolf in London on the moors when they're surrounded by a wolf in the dark with the fog.
Oh,
That
true.
that
Yep.
scene before it gets funny, like that to me is terrifying.
Yeah. I,
We
I
might
would
go
say
back to that.
I would say for me, it's funnily enough, it is also the opening scene of 28 Weeks Later when they're in the house
Oh yeah.
and then the zombies kind of rampage through, like they get into the house, like that bit of it's not even who is it?
Yeah.
It's not Danny Boyle, it's someone
It's
else.
Robert Carlyle, and that's
Oh,
because
Robert Carlyle, yeah,
their
kind of,
sanctuary has been like,
yeah.
invaded.
I
Yeah.
remember that being. I mean, I'm
Is,
look,
is that is that the one after the first one, after the
Yeah.
yeah,
Cillian
the
Murphy
second
Yeah.
one.
one?
With Rose
Yeah.
Byrne and yeah, Robert Carlyle.
I mean, I remember as a
Mm.
kid, the scariest movie I saw was Poltergeist when the tree, because I had a tree
Yeah.
just like that outside my bedroom window, and when the tree comes in and grabs the kid and sucks it into the tree,
Mhm.
that was the most terrifying. That I had nightmares for months after seeing Poltergeist.
But
And
is
now
there
you watch it,
anything
you're like,
that's terrified you as an adult?
Yes, and actually now you say it, Peter's in it, session 9.
oh,
Session 9. I interviewed Brad Anderson,
Oh,
the director, and I told him like it's an absolutely terrifying film when you actually get to the crux of it. You break away all the layers and absolutely his character is just petrifying.
I haven't watched that yet because he went, no, no, that one's creepy. He's
It
got
is.
this, he's got this brilliant, like real horror story about shooting that
Oof.
when he was, oh, I'll tell you, it's really quick. He, I have to get this right. He hates it when I paraphrase him. Anyway, he was having to do, he's chatty on set, like chats, tells jokes, doesn't matter what the scene is, doesn't matter how
Hmm.
sad or angry he has to be. He says always like that. And in this, he was having to do a shot. It was a long shot where he had to be right at the end of one of the corridors in that asylum place
Yep.
where they'd been in for quite a long time shooting. And he had to get himself into a really crazy headspace and and he was by himself right down the end of the corridor. And before they were to shoot, he just said to the director, because the crew were very used to just chatting to Peter whenever. He was
Hmm.
sort of so unprecious about that. But he'd said to the director, can you just ask the crew just to give me a little bit of space for this one because I just need to get into this headspace? And the director's like, yeah, cool, sweet. So he went down the end of the corridor and was waiting for them to roll. And he had his eyes closed, and he said with his eyes closed, this voice in his ear just whispered, Peter. And he felt the breath here. And he opened his eyes and there was nobody there. And he was like, he walked at speed up the corridor. He said he was absolutely shitting himself. And then he spent the next 5 minutes trying to talk to crew. And none of them would talk to him because they'd been told not to talk to him. So he was like, I don't want to go back there. I don't want to go back there. And I said, are you sure that just wasn't your actor's brain? He went, mm-mm. We were in such a scary building.
Wow. Yeah, forgot to take his ear picked out.
You forgot to.
Yeah, it was actually the director.
I think it was actually the director, but I think it's because of that story. I can't watch it, but I've heard it's terrifying.
It is it really is. It's but also like just the themes of his side story. You know, it's amazing. Yeah, good stuff. So you can pass that along.
I won't.
Yeah,
I will.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for hanging out with us. It's so good to be chatting. And I hope
talking about film anytime.
Hope everyone goes out and checks out Pike River because in Australia it's hitting cinemas now. Like it's been and done in New Zealand
now, and it seems to be having apart from the fact that it's based on a true story and it has such power for us as Kiwis. The first premiere was at the Sydney Film Festival, and there were a lot of people connected into the mining industry and to the unions surrounding the mining industry who sounded really deeply affected by it, because it's actually, in its really simplest terms, it's about workers being fucked over by the big man, and which is pretty universal, I think. Choice.
Right, guys, listen up. Ben, you got with Joe.
Is it even legal?
17 yesterday!
They enjoying it down there?
Yeah, loving it. This is a good job for him.
Don't go in tomorrow.
I have to. We're way behind.
You heard from the boys?
No, why?
There were 35 miners down in the mine. They don't know exactly what happened at the moment.
There's been an explosion at the mine.
What happened up there?
Where are they going in? We need to make sure the recovery is safe.
Recovery?
All the men are dead.
We'll bring them home. Well, whatever it takes, we'll bring them home.
There are 28 families, all wanting the same thing. That the promise made to you is kept, that your men will not be abandoned.
I need my husband. He can't stay there. I need to bury him. I hate driving when it's like this.
You can stay in the bus if you want. I can't stop thinking about him. I can't leave him.
It was a workplace death.
Do you want to fight this?
How do you fight a judge?
In the matter now before the court, a decision has been made that this prosecution is not going to proceed.
The mine will be permanently sealed. That's the reality.
No one is going to go in there ever again.
So what are you going to do?
We're going to stop them. This is an occupation. We're not going anywhere. If we know how they died, we know who has to be accountable.
There's nothing up there, Mum, but you can't let go of it.
I want the truth for my son, and I want justice.
I would have given up a long time ago if it hadn't been for you.